We defy Quitter's Day. We're not going to do it, and neither are you.
Hey Provident Preppers, I'm Kylene.
And I'm Jonathan. Today we're talking about Quitter's Day. Now maybe I'm behind the curve, but this was the first time I'd heard of Quitter's Day. It was announced that Friday the 13th was Quitter's Day because that's the day that on average people quit their New Year's resolutions. How sad. I don't know that we should be honoring that kind of a day when people fall off the wagon and say, I'm not going to do it.
So we had created that whole video about what some of the urgent goals that we have so that we're more prepared for the future, right? And so in this video, we're going to talk about some of the things that we have done and encourage you to keep going with your goals that are going to make you and your family more self-reliant. And so the first one that I want to talk about is we have a friend and her name is Beth, and she is seriously amazing. And you will have seen her on some of our past videos. And she actually writes for our website, theprovidentprepper.org also. Now, Beth sent me these pictures of this beautiful new pantry that she had created. And I was really actually a little bit jealous because her shelves are gorgeous and it's painted and it's beautiful. One of the things that I really liked about it is the way that she stores the rings for her canning jars and her canning jars up on the very top, and the shelves go all the way to the top. So there's no space that is wasted. But I thought that the way that Beth created this new pantry was perfect for all the things that she needs in her prepper pantry. So way to go, Beth. I'm totally excited. Now, I want to show you something that we just did this morning. Okay, we just bought these, and I actually got them from Distress Me Not on Etsy. But what this is there's a shelf here and all these hooks, and then there's hooks down here. We put these here because usually when the grandkids come in the house, they throw their coats over by the stairs because there's no other place for them. We have a little tiny closet right here for our coats, but it's very inconvenient. And so things are just kind of a mess sometimes. And one of our goals was to become more organized. So this is our front door, and we just have this one, it's echoey in here a lot because we only have this one room, right, where we're all living. And so I loved this. When I first started looking for it, I found it for $459. I thought that was a crazy amount of money to spend on shelves. And I kept looking around, and then I found it on Etsy for $114. And you can buy it just the top and you can buy it the bottom, but we wanted to make sure we had a place for our coats as well as something that was low enough for the grandkids so that they could hang their coats and their backpacks so it wasn't just always thrown on the ground when they walk in the door, so we could be a little bit more organized. But one of the other things that I liked about this is it had this little shelf. Now this is our front door, right? And so I thought this is a perfect place to keep a couple of my Don't Mess With Me tools. So this is right up here where the grandkids can't, well, I'm hoping they don't know it's there because grandkids can do anything. And then the other thing that I have up here is my pepper spray. And I really like the large ones, and John's standing right there. What do you think? Should we test this? I think not. Anyway, so this is right up here too. Out of sight, nobody knows it's there, but it helps me feel a little bit more secure because sometimes I don't know who's coming to my door, and I want to make sure that I'm prepared and I'm okay. Hopefully sometime we're going to get those the security doors that we talked about in that other video. Right now we got an estimate this morning and it was way out of our price range. So just like we had to shop for a better deal that made this affordable, we need to shop for a better deal for the doors. Now, the other thing about this is that honestly, you could make this. You could look at different designs of things that are out there, and if you're handy, you could totally make this for less than what they're selling it for, as long as your time is more valuable or is less valuable than your money. One of the really tough decisions that I made this year was, if you remember, there was an EcoCycle fish tank with the grow lights, and I could grow my plants using the aquaponics. It was so much fun. The grandkids loved to look at it. They were really excited about the fish when they came in. But it was one of those things that took up more of my life than what I was comfortable with. So every time we created a video, I had to come and I had to unplug it and I had to plug it back in. And the fish, I needed to feed the fish every day, right? Other than that, it kind of took care of itself. But I'm looking to get rid of distractions in my life and to just clear things out so that I can be as self-reliant as possible. And so this Eco Life got donated to a first grade classroom, which is super exciting because those kids are going to learn how to grow plants and take care of fish and all that in their classroom. So that was a really good place for it to go. But sometimes there's tough decisions that we have to make. Another quick, inexpensive thing that we did was get this blanket ladder. Now this is kind of really interesting. Usually I have a pile of blankets that are on my floor right here. I have certain blankets that I like to keep for grandma because once these are washed, they're never as nice. A lot of these are, you know, the Costco soft ones. And so I needed a place to store them better. And this is really cool. This is just a ladder that leans up against the wall and I can store my blankets on it so that it doesn't take up much space. It's not taking up extra room in my cupboards. They're always ready when I need them. And I have more blankets. Another thing that we've done is started our winter sown seedlings. So a lot of these are all flowers, but they're perennial or medicinal, and they needed cold stratification. And so we just planted them in these. If you want to click the card in the corner, it'll take you to a video that we've done on winter sowing. But this is a great way to start some of your plants early in the season without taking up room inside a greenhouse. And yeah, this works great for us.
Another little project that didn't take very long, but actually enhanced our life. We had an area where we had some water barrels on the floor, but nothing else up to the ceiling. And in a few hours, Ben and I created this shelf that now holds a lot of really important things. One of the goals that I was really serious about, and I've made some serious progress on, is my garage. Our garage. Anyway, the garage has really struggled to stay organized, and I don't know why it can't do it itself, but with Ben's help, we've made very serious progress, and now we're to a point where it's very manageable, and there's more to do, but we're getting there.
Okay, and part of that is my fault because I had a lot of my stuff, and it actually is his garage, but I've got a lot of my stuff and I took it out and put it into my garden sheds instead of in the garage. So that was very helpful. So part of it was my fault, my apologies. But that's what we're working on, right? Another thing that I've done is I've taken all of my garden seeds and I've organized them into these binders. If you click the card in the corner, you'll see the video that kind of shows what I'm doing when I'm planting my garden this year. But for me, this was a big deal. The other goal that I had was to learn more about medicinal herbs and to use them more in my everyday life. And this is the latest batch of soap that I made. And this is my best one yet. Like, it smells so good and it has all these amazing herbs in it. And I'm just really excited about that. So.
Well done. And this points out an important thing, that we count the milestones, give ourselves credit for things done, because it encourages us on. So let's wrap this up. Preppers, we've got some serious challenges ahead, and it's important that we make progress on our goals. Now, sometimes we have to flex a little bit. Sometimes we need to maybe postpone something or adjust, but we never give up. We must move forward, use a friend, get some help to work on progress and be accountable to each other. Sometimes we make a goal that's too large and it's just overwhelming. So break that down. And there's nothing wrong with a long-term goal that's large. Break it down into smaller goals that you can make progress on and have milestones. And most of all, just put your heart into this, because this is important.
And your goals are going to be different than ours. All of our lives are different, and that's just fine. That's the way that it's supposed to be. And so just because I've done my seeds this way doesn't mean that you have to at all, or that you even have to have a garden. Now, I would strongly encourage you to have a garden, like seriously, but we're all different, and that's okay.
Now for the question of the day. What progress have you made? And what successes have you got to share with us? And what things can you share with our audience that will inspire them? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.